Okay, you got Dick Ritchie here, and this is Dick Ritchie on UFC. Dick Ritchie on answering some questions. Dick Ritchie on some knives. It's gonna be a good one. It's Sunday. All right, first off, last week gave away the best Techman Ronin. That went to Country Boy 1976. He's going to love this knife. Second, I'm going to go ahead and announce next week's giveaway is going to be the Smith & Wesson throwing knives. Pack of 3 with this kind of cool canvas belt sheath. Holds all 3 of them in there. Yeah. Week 17, Smith & Wesson throwing knives. All right, I got my camo hat on because I'm just kind of representing Sean Strickland, country boy American, kind of a dumbass, kind of shoots his mouth off, says some stupid things sometimes, but he just says what people think. Whether they mean harm by it or not, that's another thing that needs to be determined after you say the words. Now, if you say some bad words and you follow through with those bad words and you pursue those bad words and those bad things, then yeah, that's bad. But if you catch somebody in the heat of a moment, there was 2 cases where fighters won at this UFC, I think 293, where they said the F word when it pertains to homosexuality. I think we're at the age now where we could probably not say certain things. I gotta say it. Let's take some words out of our vocabulary. Let's just do it. I think it's important. I don't think we need to try to address some... I just don't want to address it. Forget it. All right, Sean Strickland beat Izzy. Now, I didn't hate Izzy like a lot of people did or do. I just don't. I didn't see it. Now, I did see some weird stuff when, the stuff with him and his dog. Getting into that, just weird. Look it up yourself. Google it. Izzy, UFC fighter and his dog. All right, so there's that. I don't care if you wear nail polish. I don't care if you are LGBTQ. I don't care if you whatever. It doesn't matter to me, especially if you're a UFC fighter and I don't know who you are and you're just a good fighter. All that other stuff is just your business and it's just whatever. But if you get in the ring and if I appreciate fighting and you get in the ring and you're good at it, I'm going to kind of be a fan of you unless you're a real jerk. And I don't think Izzy was ever really like a real jerk. So I don't want to go against him on that. It was a semi-historic evening. Sean Strickland, if you don't know who he is, Google him. Very interesting man. He's a white guy from America, and he grew up in a very, 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 very hard household. Very tough household. Like very, very bad. Like, there's people out there that think, oh, well, their dad didn't get them a cell phone when they were 13, or they didn't have a video game or something like that, that their parents were terrible. No, he grew up in a very tough household. His history is book-worthy, especially now that he is now going to be a legend in the sport. I think he probably would have been a legend in the sport regardless because his character was so strong. And his resiliency, his ability to say, hey, yeah, I was a very, very misdirected kid due to all sorts of reasons, good and bad, avoidable and unavoidable. But he owned it all. He owned the fact that he had moments in his life where he was kind of a crappy dude, beating up people that probably didn't deserve to be beaten up because he's a fighter. He's a UFC champion now. He just beat one of the best champions in that weight class, Izzy. So, hats off. Hats off to Sean Strickland. Hats off to Izzy. Izzy showed up. I think he could have showed up better. I think he had some stuff going on. I think, the game was played to a T by Sean Strickland. I think Strickland was in his head. I think Strickland got him sideways. I think Strickland beat him mentally and physically. And that's scary because a lot of people, I don't think they ranked or rated Strickland as a mental competitor. He was a very, very misguided kid. And he'll be the first to admit it, I believe. But he's moved past that. He had a difficult past. And he made some mistakes. But now he's on top of the world, folks. Let's see how he handles himself on top of the world. Let's see what he's an ambassador of. Hopefully he can make some good change out there with his visibility. So that's awesome. So last week gave away the best Techman Ronin. This week I'm going to give away the Smith & Wesson throwing knives. I figure it's only suiting because I took the throwing knives to one of my barns last week, and me and my buddy Jason were chucking them at the wall. It's a lot of fun, and we didn't do it long because we were working. But we did take a moment out of our day to throw some knives. Take a moment out of your day and do something like that. It's good for your mental health, I believe. So, I get some questions from my subscribers, and some of the questions I get are pretty much knife questions. And sometimes philosophy questions, I guess, but for the most part, knives. And that's only suiting, right? So what's the most you ever spent on a knife, Dick Ritchie? And that's $160 on a ProTech Godson. That knife right now, I just sent that down to my buddy down in Florida. This guy right here. He's another great knife reviewer, because we're great knife reviewers, he and I. Tim's School of Fish. He's a fishing guy too, obviously. And he gives away all these great giveaways of tackle box, mystery tackle box type things with all kinds of baits and different things like that. So check him out if you like those kind of giveaways. I don't really do those giveaways because I don't fish anymore. I used to fish. Probably should fish. Look at this hat. But there's quite a few knives, and this will get into another question I have is what's your grail knife? What is like that knife that's like that you really want to have? I gotta be honest with you folks, I don't have one. I watch these videos all the time, and I see these guys and they're flicking around these titanium knives, and you can just tell that they are so crisp and they are dealing with mechanisms that are so precise. And man, I kind of would like to have something like that. I don't know what that would be. I see some fair prices coming out with Hogue. Might have to drop on a Hogue, but I'm not going to right now. If you notice, I'm not buying like anything crazy or fancy for the reviews right now. I'm feeling it. So when I feel hit by economy, or I feel whatever going on with my occupation slows down or something happens, you just gotta wind back a little bit. You gotta pull back on the reins. You gotta get your priorities figured out, and you gotta be smart about things. So I'm not buying $300-$400 knives right now. Still buying knives. I've got 3, and that's another thing. September 1st. This is Sunday, September 10th, I believe. September 1st, I ordered on Blade HQ 3 knives and 3 lanyards. They haven't even shipped them yet. Blade HQ is my favorite place to order from, but I'm going to reconsider that because that's just ridiculous. There's not a holiday going on. There's nothing. I ordered these almost 10 days ago, and they haven't even shipped yet. That makes me mad. Makes me real mad. They promise you 3 to 7 days shipping, and they haven't even got this thing out. So I'm still waiting on those 3 slip joint knives and the 3 lanyards to review. Oh well, it is what it is. But I'm gonna say, if I had to say what I'd really like to have next, got a gnat flying. What I'd really like to have next is probably, oh man, I really would like to have a Microtech OTF, or, you know, I just gave away my Benchmade proper slip joint knife. I keep saying that, but that was my only Benchmade knife I ever had. I think my next Benchmade knife I'm going to get is going to be maybe like an Osborne. I would like to have an Osborne, something like that. But the prices are, I think I don't need, like, I paid $160 for that ProTech, which Tim has. I sent Tim some knives. Hopefully he'll get some videos out next week on them. But I sent him like the Case Kinzua. I sent him 2 TRM knives. And that was the main reason why I sent him knives, because he hasn't had one yet. And TRM's Three Rivers Manufacturing, USA company out of Massachusetts. And I thought he needs to review these knives, because that's an American-made company, and they're awesome knives. I can't wait to see what he thinks about those, because I think they're pieces of art. I think they're just really, really crisp, great knives. Best knives I have. And those are over $200 knives, right? They're expensive. They were given to me by TRM to review and to have and to own. Very, very, very considerate company. Awesome company. I love them. And I will always promote TRM. I'll promote TRM well ahead and above all the other American companies right now, because they're so high above the radar, they don't even look at guys like me. But I sent him a Case Kinzua. He needed to touch a Case Kinzua if he hasn't ever. I wasn't sure if he did, so I threw it in there. I mean, I threw him 5 or so knives out of my big bag. You know, the one where my satchel where I keep 9 of my favorite knives. And that left behind probably. Another question is what's my current favorite knife? Now, I found it, my CRKT Polar. I love that knife, guys. It's out in my truck right now. You guys know what it is. If you got $30, $40 scrambling around in your pocket, you need to let it loose. You need to get yourself one of those if you don't have one. Talking about an incredible little knife that has great action, that's just awesome. I love it. Hesper Voxanes, great, great, great designer, if you ask me. But I think the best knife, best bang for the buck, thanks to one of my subscribers, I gave away my QSP Penguin with D2 and denim micarta. Very, very common knife, great knife in the 30s. One of the best knives probably coming out of the 2022, 2023, 2021. Maybe, I don't know when it came out, but still very popular, and still real popular with its newer, fresher styles. This has S35 VN steel. It's got like this sheep's foot Warncliffe blade. It's got like this Damascus look. I forget what they call that, like foiled Damascus or whatever, G10. I like it. It's got this like gummy feel. So it's got a little grip in there, but it's smooth and has this orange swirling in this black. S35 VN steel on the blade material, kids. Business. We're talking serious blade material. And of course, they just always manage to do some serious action on their knives. QSP, love them. Right there. Check it out. That's the Penguin. This was on sale, I think Blade HQ or something. And it was on sale for in the $60 range. S35 VN for $60. It's kind of like a custom Penguin, if you ask me, compared to what I'm used to. This is the best knife I bought for the money. Right here. It's got to be. for the money. So my current favorite knife is CRKT Pilar. I love this. This is close, but this is definitely something I would say, hey, this is an incredible knife for the money. You know, that should be a $120 knife. Giving away the Smith & Wessons. Congratulations to Sean Strickland. Dude keeps it real. So sometimes too real. But now he's toned it back. He's getting smart. He's getting a professionalism to him. I'm going to get slotted against some pretty tough guys. I want to say his next fight might be like, if not a rematch, the Plexus. What a great fight, though. Have a good Sunday. Have a good next week. I'll see you Monday. Deuces. Karate.